We be live. Hello, Durud and Shalom. My name is Armin Navabi.
And I'm Ali Samani, and we're your Iran experts. Looks like this is it. The Islamic Republic of Iran, this terrorist regime, has appointed officials that signal they're willing to go back to war. They're not willing to come back to the negotiating table. We have a timeline for you guys about when the 2 months expires from when Donald Trump stated that we would negotiate for 2 months. It's coming up soon. Congress is not in session. Action can be taken, and one hurdle remains. One last final step. In this final step is to have the Arabs, the Persian Gulf Arab countries and other countries in the Middle East put some skin in the game. Instead of Saudi Arabia going towards Israel and the United States has gone towards Turkey and Pakistan, and it's paying the price for it every day. Its militias in Yemen are being targeted. Its oil infrastructure has been hit. And in general, we will show you some economic indicators from the United States that suggest we cannot keep on going like this forever, and things will have to be decided sooner rather than later. In addition to all that, we even have an interview with a Basij, an IRGC orc thug who was active during the January 8th and 9th protests against the people. Furthermore, some cyber attacks have happened. Diego Garcia is under a drone threat and has issued multiple warnings to its garrison there, as well as a big meeting between the military leaders of the Arab countries in the Middle East and Brad Cooper has taken place once again in Amman, Jordan today. The biggest piece is that ships were hit in both the Strait of Hormuz and the Bab el-Mandeb. Now, this comes as no surprise because and a third ship was actually disabled by the United States today. A helicopter fired 2 Hellfire missiles at it. This is not a really surprise. We saw the Saudi tankers coming back yesterday, and we knew a lot of them were going to get hit. So the oil market is not in a happy position. It hasn't been in a happy position for a while. Let's get started. So, what is going on in the Strait of Hormuz, ladies and gentlemen? Why were another ships getting hit? It's like almost one per day at this point. So let's go in and let's show you guys just how many ships have been hit and what the impact of that has been. So CENTCOM has issued this statement. Their UH-60 helicopter fired 2 Hellfire missiles at a ship attempting to traverse the blockade. And at the same time, we had the Islamic Republic fire and hit a ship, killing 3 Pakistani nationals and 1 Indonesian national who were working aboard this ship. In addition to that, what we would like to show you is that, put aside the fact that there's probably 1 ship per day that's been hit so far. Let's zoom in on this a little bit more. You guys need to see this for your own eyes. This is what the Strait of Hormuz looks like. Does anyone notice anything about this, darker blackish color there? That's oil.
No. Are you sure?
Yeah, there's so much oil here. So look at this. This entire area is just oil. And we'll show you what it looks like when it washes up on the shores of Kesh Island. This is what it looks like.
Oh my God.
This is the beach. As you can see, it's pretty much just black sludge washing up on the shores here. And it's turtle nesting season, as well as, everything else. It looks like, in addition to all the terrorism that the Islamic Republic commits, it cannot stop also committing ecological terrorism. Now, that's not the only place that's washing up black oil onto the shores. This area also has a Russian Shadow Fleet tanker that was hit, and that has been spilling the most amount of oil I've seen in a long time. The shore of Oman here is just dark. The Omanis themselves came out and said, yeah, there's actually 400 square kilometers of oil that's spilled from this one Russian tanker alone. Now, this ignores, of course, all the other tankers that have been hit over the past few months, and all of them, whether they're disabled by the United States or the Islamic Republic, leak oil. So maybe put aside your vacation plans for the Strait of Hormuz for a indefinite amount of time. And quite frankly, it's very, very sad. Very sad. I'll just show this to you again if you guys want to take a look at it. So, this was not the only strait in the world where we had a ship hit. We also had a ship hit here in the Bab el-Mandeb by the Houthis. And this also killed more crew members. So it was located right here. It was a, what is that flag? Is that like a, it looks like a Congo flag, but yeah. So this ship was also hit. And this ship, the way it was hit was very unusual. Usually, by the way, it's a smaller ship. Usually you hit the ship at the tanker room, the engine room, whatever you want to call it. The Houthis went for the kill. That's the bridge of the ship. And this did end up in 4 deaths.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So the Houthis are, I guess, sending a message that, here's the thing. This is completely different, guys. If your ship goes through and if your ship is going to get hit, that's one thing, because they usually hit the engine room. But for them to target you at the bridge, for you to drive through this with a ship and knowing that you personally are going to get targeted in the bridge room, yeah, that's a completely different threat, completely different mentality. In addition to what the Houthis just did in this picture, as you can see, killing 4 people, they have also attacked Saudi military positions. So a lot of the militia that the Saudis have built up in Yemen, those are seen as the greatest threat to the Houthis right now, and they're bombarding them daily. They're hitting their weapons depots, their command centers in Mocha and Marib, which explosions were ringing out all of today and last night. You guys can see once again, we told you what needed to happen for things to move forward is for the Islam countries, the Arabs, to start beating on each other. And you can see that every passing day, that is becoming the case. For example, here in Baghdad, I'll show you guys this article. We can hopefully translate this into English here. So this is an Iraqi news channel, and Mustafa Saudoun wrote this article for us. This is Qani, the commander of the Quds force, the commander of the force responsible for killing the Jews and generally the foreign legion of the terrorist Islamic Republic. What they're saying, and they got this information directly from government officials, is that Qani visited Baghdad last night. He visited Baghdad last night, all of a sudden, completely unannounced, when he was supposed to receive some sort of delegation in Tehran, but some information reached Qani's ear that forced him to personally come to Baghdad. And that information turns out to be that Ali al-Zaidi has drafted up a law, and that law is for the disarming of the militias, the proxies, the IRGC terrorist militias in Iraq. That law is now finalized. It's going to be voted on. And Qani, according to Iraqi sources, visited the different headquarters of the terrorist PMF, Kataib Hezbollah, and other IRGC-backed militias to see, what are we working with here? What weapons do they have left? How many people do they have left? What's going on? Give them some directions. This is a ticking time bomb for Iraq. Iraq, as we say, is caught in between quite literally every single country in the Middle East. Iran, Kuwait, Saudi, Syria, Turkey, everything. And it doesn't even have full sovereignty over its nation. Over here in the north of Iraq, about 2,000 square kilometers are actually controlled by Turkey. They have bases set up all around here. They're building their own roads into Iraq, and they're never going to let this go. I'm sorry to say that. For anyone who might be watching who's Iraqi, getting troops into a region is easy. leaving is very, very, very difficult, and is why I am not a big proponent of more countries getting involved into the Iran conflict here. Al-Zaidi has a massive task ahead of him, and if history proves right, the Iraqi counterterrorism forces should be striking sooner than the September 30th deadline on these militias. And if the PMF is taken out of commission, that is a big indicator for when the Iranian people can rise up. We have a timeline for you guys. Let's get some expectations down. So, let's say that the United States of America wanted to do something, whatever it may be. This is the political calendar left for the rest of the 4 months of this year. So, as you can see, we're beginning off with the classic. The House and the Senate, the Congress, is nowhere to be found. They're on vacation. And they're on vacation, both of them, when the Iran deal deadline in 4 days passes. 4 days makes us landing on a Saturday, this Saturday. No Congress will be there to vote on anything should something happen. And then we have the Israeli elections on October 27th, and a few days after that, the United States midterms. So, August 15th is the deadline for the Iran deal. October 27th and November 3rd are the elections for Israel and the United States. That's a 2-month gap here, more than enough to overthrow the Islamic Republic of Iran and hand it into the people's hands, who will undoubtedly seize any chance at this point. And so I want to ask you, I feel like lately the Iranian people are waiting for something specific to happen so they can grab their chance. Is that also the mood that you feel like is in Iran?
Yep. I mean, we went through a period of hope for something big happening, frustration for why it hasn't already happened, acceptance that it might not happen when they wanted to, renewed hope that something might be happening pretty soon, but also at the same time getting ready for doing it yourself and getting ready for a new phase that we become more self-reliant and not waiting for something big to happen. So we are seeing renewed hope that something big might happen, but it's also with the level of skepticism and with more focus on we need to do what we need to do regardless of what happens, regardless of the roller coaster. So more people are getting on the acceptance of this is a roller coaster that we have no control over, and we need to take matters in our own hand. And a lot of Iranians are thinking about finding ways to get armed.
Yeah. Well, let's see what that ends up being, because we saw a new document come out by the Pentagon. This document is something that we've seen before. This was signed last year in December of 2025, and it is for this time. It is for right now, effective immediately. The Department of War will use the term psychological operations instead of MISO, military information support operations. This is intended to convey selected information and indicators to foreign audiences in an effort to influence the emotions, motives, and objective reasoning and the behavior of foreign governments, organization groups, individuals. So this is something that's catching some attention here. The Pentagon releasing this document now, when it was signed a year ago, is nothing new. This has actually happened multiple times before: Afghanistan war, Iraq war. I mean, we all know that the CIA does this. This can be something that can be used as a trigger. Maybe the CIA does push some certain information through channels, does act once again like we saw pre-February 28th to convey a message to the Iranian people. We know that it's not impossible. We know state media in Iran has been hacked and portrayed different messages. We know that the CIA directly had a website to have the Iranian people sign up and give information. So I want to bring that to you guys' attention to know there are stuff happening behind the scenes here. Choosing what to show you guys. Okay, let's just go with a funny bit of piece of news here. So if you guys remember, the Islamic Republic made the PGSA, the program to govern the Strait of Hormuz. It was like some BS organization that they made. Yeah, they got attacked cybernetically. Yeah, they got cyber attacked, taken down. They got hacked, completely taken down, completely gone. It's just deleted off the face of the earth. And so they released this ex post saying, due to political interference by the US government, we request you to use this website instead from now on. Oh, gotcha. Well, that sucks. Too bad. Guess we can't really use that website to pay our tolls to the Islamic Republic anymore when we want to transit the Strait of Hormuz. What a bummer. Let's go into some more spy business, and this time we will be going to near the city of Qom in Iran to a nuclear site called Fordo. You guys may have heard about this. Well, it turns out that the head of Mossad, the former head of Mossad, Yossi Cohen, has come out and stated publicly, you know, when I was chief, we infiltrated Fordo. We actually, the head of the program, the intelligence program for the nuclear, development of the Islamic Republic, that was our guy. Our Mossad spy was the head of the intelligence department for the nuclear program of Iran. And here's what happened. The IRGC quite literally took the Mossad spy's hand, who they believed to be their superior officer, and led him right into Fordo, where he got, I think, 2 rounds around the entire facility, and he got to map out everything. He got maps of it, he got intel, and it looks like Mossad knows exactly what is inside of these tunnels, and they mapped it out for us. As we can see here, you can see everything from the recreation offices, the container storage, the enrichment facility direction, control room, everything, backup power supply. So that's a spy marvel, something you see in, maybe a lot of different movies we've seen from the past. I think it's really funny, quite frankly, that the Islamic Republic had this high-level infiltration, Armin. The head of the intelligence unit for this, the nuclear program, was a Mossad spy. Is just hilarious to me.
But oh my God, this is crazy. There's nothing that the Islamic Republic can hide from Mossad. There's absolutely nothing. Like, this was the most important thing to hide. This was the absolute most important thing to hide, and they got a detailed plan of it. So,
yep.
If you can't hide this, you can't hide anything.
Yeah, I mean, they can't hide their supreme leader's location. Ali Khamenei, he got blown up. They can't hide their missile sites. It's not looking too good. A lot of fingers being pointed at each other. I actually have a question for you. Why is it that the Islamic Republic doesn't point fingers at each other more often and say he's a Mossad spy?
They do all the time, almost every half an hour. Top
officials.
Regime itself. Top officials. Actually, the closest that we came to that was Araghchi admitting that on an interview. Remember, with the curly hair guy. That was the closest thing to an actual official admitting that. But because I think once you open that door, then you officially put a stamp of approval. Then you're also doing it to yourself. Once you make it known that officials are Mossad agents, then nobody will trust you as well, because you could be a Mossad agent.
That makes sense. It's like, who farted? When you say, oh, he farted, they're like, oh, well, you did it. You're saying it. You did it. Okay, that makes sense. So We have an unusual visit. Just like how Ghani, the commander of the IRGC Quds Force, visited Baghdad last night, today a plane from the United Arab Emirates, make that bigger, it's a little small. A plane from the United Arab Emirates took off from Abu Dhabi and went to Tehran, where it landed for exactly 1 hour before returning back to the UAE. This is something that we saw happen on, I think it was June 6th or June 12th or something like that. And a lot of people were saying that, according to Reuters, the UAE has been delivering billions of dollars to the Islamic Republic, and we could perhaps see that repeating. We don't know. Could there be some sort of deal? UAE says, don't hit me. I'll give you money. Something that the Islamic Republic desperately needs at this point. We may never know. But why did they visit for just 1 hour? Even if it was a diplomatic visit, I don't know. 1 hour seems just like it was unloading something and then leaving. It's a very, very short time for planes to land and take off. Very short. I'll leave that up to you guys to decide for what it may have been. But going back to the Persian Gulf Arab countries, in Qatar, the Al Udeid base, ladies and gentlemen, is once again showing, and these are old images from Google, so don't actually follow this, but I will show you the satellite imagery on its own here. Make it a little bit larger. The Al Udeid base is now sporting 4 refueling tankers, up from 0. The United States moved all of them out of there, and now they're moving some back in there. As of the last 48 hours, 4 of them are back. That raises some questions. We told you guys ourselves that moving planes out of Qatar, which is very close to the Islamic Republic, means we're de-escalating. We're moving our assets from a danger zone out, backing off, etc. But now we're moving them back into the theater right next to the enemy. Perhaps a sign. But they're only 4. So let's wait for more of them to get on over there. And you can see how close it is to Iran. Its ballistic missile range will probably take maybe 60 seconds, maybe 90 seconds to traverse that region. Yeah, pretty fast, no response time. And in addition, Karg Island has seen some refueling tankers come back to it, but none of them are loading up on oil. They're just sitting around and waiting. Waiting for what exactly? I have no idea. But as you can see, all the ships are nowhere near the dock. The dock is right here. That's the dock. No ships there. And no ships have been there for like 2 weeks. They're just sitting here waiting for something. I'm not sure. Probably the Islamic Republic Shadow Fleet as a floating storage. They could already be full of oil, buying them some time. But time is of the essence. Economically, not only is the Islamic Republic suffering, but the United States of America is also not doing too well. The United States long end yields are back. They're back to levels of 2007 when the financial crisis began. As you guys can see, if you look at the top left of the graph, you can see that it's in line with us today in 2026. Now, that was back in 2007. The rates plummeted, and we were in an extended period for about 20 years where rates were pretty low, meaning cost less for businesses to borrow money, you could be more successful, interest rates are low, economy does well, general idea pushed by a lot of economists. Well, now it's pretty high. It's back up to 2007. That's not looking so good, and that's not the only indicator that things aren't doing so well.
I mean, stock prices are up 20% year over year. That's crazy. So that's good.
Correct.
I think it was doing fine.
So the stock market is doing really well. The job market is not doing so well. The job market, I got the revised numbers for you guys. So today we got the revision numbers. US job numbers have now been revised lower. in 21 out of the last 30 months. What does that mean? It means that the United States government stated that we might have gained 100,000 jobs in a month of June, but then they revise it later on and say, actually, it wasn't 100,000, it was 20,000. So that's what it means. So 21 out of the last 30 months, they revised it, brought it down lower. That's actually a net loss of 1,050,000 jobs in the last 30 months that has come as a result of revisions by the United States of America. So that's an average of 35,000 jobs lost a month in the last 2.5 years. That is also pointing some concerns. Let's just say that. So yeah. And then, so as Armin said, the stock market is doing better and better. Corporate companies are set to break records.
Stock market is forward looking, labor market is backwards looking. So if the labor market is not doing good, we're already past whatever that issue is, right?
And I hope so.
Yeah. Stock markets is predicting the future. Labor market is looking at what already happened. So we'll see.
Yeah. A lot of economists are saying this doesn't really make too much sense, what we're going through at the moment. It's a little bit of a bubble with the AI, just like how it was in the .com in the 2000s. We'll see what happens.
Having bubbles forming and bursting is a healthy thing anyways in an economy. Having a bubble come and then burst, like for example, the .com bubble, okay, it came and went, and it actually wasn't as bad as people make it seem to be. We needed overinvestment in a technology that was going to be life-changing, and then it bursts, meaning that all the ones that didn't make sense were cleansed out, and everything that was left became the Amazons and Facebooks and Googles of our time. So the .com bubble cleansed everything out, and now we're all benefiting from the internet. If we have an AI bubble, that means that we're having overinvestment in AI, which is good because we don't want to have underinvestment in AI. And then when the bubble bursts, everything that doesn't make sense will get cleansed out, and everything that does make sense will then come and take everyone else's share of the people who are not providing good services. That's a healthy, it's a normal thing in an economy to have.
Yes. And by the way, guys, if you have any young people in your families, don't be too harsh on them for not being able to find a good job in this economy. It does turn out that it was very difficult in the last 2.5 years to do so. So we have this one next. Basically, we'll go through it together. Don't worry. It's not that scary. What happens here is that April 17th, there's an Iran deal. Donald Trump is like, yeah, we're going to make a deal with them. Boom, oil go down. 3 days later, Donald Trump says, yeah, I doubt it. Boom, oil go back up from all the way down here to all the way up there. Same thing, June 10th. Hey, we're going to strike them. Oil go up. We're not going to strike them. Oil go down. All within about 24, 48 hours of each other. It just keeps on happening once again, one after another. Trump saying, hey, we're going to charge a 20% fee on ships. Boom, oil go up about 10 points. Hey, actually, we're just kidding. Okay, drop back down 10 points. It's a little funny that things like this can be swayed by the words of one man, but if it were to be swayed by anyone, the president of the United States makes total sense to me.
By the way, that's only short term. Yeah. Long term, the market, short term fluctuations might be not that rational, but long term trends of the market does represent the fundamentals. You can fool the market short term, but you can't fool it long term. Yeah,
I know, and we say that all the time. We're like, this is just temporary. The market will catch up. The price of oil will go higher. So next up, we have Raytheon. Raytheon is a defense company, and it has now gotten a $750 million contract from the United States government to start producing more missile interceptors. Looks like they delivered their plans. We told you guys that the Pentagon ordered defense companies in the United States to give them a plan to bump up production within 3 weeks. Looks like Raytheon was the first and has now been awarded for its troubles with a $750 million contract. They're going to be building PAC-3s, which are an older model of interceptors, but also SM-3 ones for the United States Navy. Production will happen in Tucson, Arizona, and Huntsville, Alabama. So if you'd like a job, head on over to there if you work in engineering. In addition, sorry, there's so much economic news today, but the Secretary of Energy for the Trump administration, Chris Wright, came out and said another quite interesting thing today. I'm not sure if I completely believe this guy in the past that he's said. He said, right now, we got 9 million barrels of oil per day that leave the Strait of Hormuz. That's a lot. Yeah. Then he also said, as soon as our pipelines are fully done, we just had some newly upgraded pipelines. That's going to be another 5 to 7 million barrels per day leaving the Middle East. So that's going to be at about 15 million barrels per day pretty soon. And on Sunday alone, 20 million barrels left the Arabian Gulf region. Now, I'm going to, I actually know, you know what? I'm not going to ignore that. It's not the Arabian Gulf, buddy. It's the Persian Gulf. No one says Arabian Gulf, and no history book has ever been written Arabian Gulf. And we got to get your facts straight, and we got to get your numbers straight as well, because a lot of the geosync analysis that we see with satellite does not point to anywhere near 15 million barrels a day leaving the region. It's very much lower than that. But hey, this is the Secretary of Energy, and what do I know?
By the way, the Iranian people are your greatest assets against the Islamic Republic, and using that word instead of the Persian Gulf is the best way to lose your most powerful asset against your most important enemy.
Yeah, it's like saying Palestine. Anyway, something strange has been happening in Libya. Someone's out for Libya. I don't know who. I'm going to read the chat to see if you guys know. Someone just assassinated a major general in Libya, near the city of Benghazi. And at the same time, we saw for the past 3 days, we saw oil infrastructure in Libya, from yesterday, over here be struck. Let me just remind you what that looks like. This is what's going on in Libya at the moment. That, in addition to their general being assassinated randomly from a car bomb, has been pointing some fingers. That's actually not the only thing happening to them. Armin, who in the world is going after Libya? Like, what is here? This is south of Italy. It's in line with Italy. It's pretty far away from the conflict over here. And let me just show you.
It could be internal. It could be who's going after Libya? Here's an answer: Libya.
Okay, best answer I've seen so far. Multiple oil storage facilities were hit in Libya this week. Their major general was assassinated in a car bomb, and the chief of the banking system of the Libyan government has also stepped down. He was the man who was in charge of keeping a balance between oil revenue, of who gets what oil revenue, and he's gone now. So the country is going back again into turmoil from what little stability they had, which was pretty much nothing. And moving on out of Libya, let's go into Jordan. Once again, in Amman, we have a big meeting. Our CENTCOM commander, Brad Cooper, has met with the heads of many different militaries. So the Army Chiefs of Staff of Jordan, Iraq, Syria met with Brad Cooper. And I'm wondering what they're talking about here. Jordan, Iraq, and Syria. These are the countries in between the Islamic Republic of Iran and Israel. Special little meeting for the Insider Club. Close these out. Okay, there we go. more and more meetings taking place. These are quite secretive. I don't see the media really pointing anything out about these. Well, the important part is this meeting was pretty much happening on a very short notice, and it's actually right after Ghani, the IRGC commander, visited Iraq. He visited Iraq last night. Boom, meeting next day between Iraq and the US in Jordan. My best guess is this was very Iraq focused here. Country has too many problems. I mean, oof. I hope we will look back in a few years and we see Al-Zaidi doing a good job, because, wow, it is a very difficult position to be in. Here we go. I'll show you guys a new Durka face. This guy, he's the IRGC spokesperson. Guess what he said today, ladies and gentlemen? If threats against Iran occur again, hundreds of thousands of miles of energy lines, thousands of power plants, all American and even non-American systems of global infrastructure connected to the internet will be at risk. So he just threatened the United States, all of our power plants and our Wi-Fi. These people never really learn, do they? But hey, according to Al Arabiya and Al Jazeera and Bloomberg, we're really close to a deal. I'm not kidding, guys. That was their headline today. Really, really close to a deal. Pakistan and Qatar are reporting there's major breakthroughs in the negotiations. I don't know how they have the gall to say that. There are no negotiations. The US isn't even talking to the IRGC.
They're
What a
saying that
world.
even after the new appointments?
Yeah, they're saying that after the new appointments. I don't understand these people. I don't understand how, I mean, maybe Pakistan is having a little sunk cost fallacy where they just think, hey, we put so much time and effort into this, might as well keep on going and not cut our losses, which is interesting to say the least. I mean, whatever, right? But these are the new appointments. These start off, okay? So we had the good old usual Mujtaba Khamenei, and now we have the Armed Forces General Staff is Ali Abdullahi. And under him, apparently, is this restructuring where we have Ahmad Vahidi, Raudan, and Hatami. But let's just focus on Vahidi here. So these are the people that we are a little, let's just say we're keeping our eyes on them. I think it's funny that Hossein Tabb is all the way down here, because technically that's what's going on. But if we were to actually give you guys the accurate graph, this guy right here is going to go from all the way down here to all the way up here. That's what it looks like at the moment. But technicalities speak for themselves.
Oh, by the way, Ali, do you know that they are trying to merge the IRGC with the Artesh now?
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah. So they're trying to mix Khatam al-Anbiya and the unit that they had that was in control of both IRGC and the Artesh. They're merging those two units, which is the first step that you need to take to eventually merge the IRGC and Artesh, to make sure that the Artesh is not going to be a coup force against the Islamic Republic. So the Artesh will, if they keep going this way, the Artesh will be gone.
I mean, please do. That, you know what? They should do that. That sounds like a great idea to me. Do they have any? I mean, they should have an idea about how many problems, how difficult it is to merge two gigantic organizations like that. Organizations, which I'll remind you guys, are not honest.
Yeah, even if it's difficult, it's better than having the Artesh as a coup measure against them just sitting there. I mean, for them, this makes sense, as difficult as it might be. And also, Steve in the chat saying, how recent is that news? I mean, this is like less than 24 hours Okay, maybe less than 48 hours that we know that ever since these appointments were made, we now know that they're trying to merge the Artish and the IRGC.
So here's what they're doing, and correct me if I'm wrong. Hossein Taleb, who is now leading the show, has decided the best way to, or one of the ways to go against the people, is to remove one of their potential tools, the Iranian military, the Artish. So he's going to merge them. I mean, that's going to take some time.
So
It's not going to be very successful.
Hossein Taleb is not going to be in charge of that. That Hossein Taleb is focusing on other things, right?
No, I know, but that was definitely his idea, I feel like.
Oh. So Ali Abdullahi, which was the head of Setar Kulle, is now the head of the Setar Kulle Niroy Musallah. I don't know how to say that. So the organization,
Armed Forces General Staff Chief.
Okay, yes, exactly. So Ali Abdullahi used to be the head of Khatam al-Anbiya, is now in charge of that organization, and they're going to merge Khatam al-Anbiya with that unit. Khatam al-Anbiya is the biggest institution within the IRGC, and Ali Abdullahi, who used to be the head of Khatam al-Anbiya, is now in charge of the Niroy Kulle, Setat Kulle Niroy Musallah. Let me see, are we calling it? Armed Forces General. Okay. So that they're merging Khatam al-Anbiya with that unit, which is the first step to eventually merge the IRGC with Artish, because the armed forces is basically both IRGC and Artish. So this move, by making him in charge of that, means that they're trying to merge them both together, and they already are merging. The part that has already been confirmed is merging Khatam al-Anbiya with that unit.
Shortage of resources and supplies, merging them together. The Artish didn't even really have any supplies to begin with. Interesting. I mean, it's not going to be pretty, but I mean, imagine the smart way to go about it is for them to just cut off large parts of these organizations and just consolidate into the core essential parts, like the Basij. Okay.
So the Basij is separate from the armed forces, because the Basij is, so the armed forces is mostly, so the Basij is part of IRGC, but when we're talking about the armed forces, we're mostly talking about the Quds Army, the IRGC's Navy, IRGC's Air Force, and IRGC Ground Force. The Basij are sometimes armed, but it's a wider network of plainclothes people in the streets that are more like a morality police rather than traditional armed forces. Oh, there you go. You have that actually. Ground Forces, Navy, Air Force. Okay, yes, see that. Ground Forces, Navy, Quds Basij Organization. Okay,
yeah. By the way, this guy.
Yeah, you see intelligence organization. Okay.
Yeah.
That's under IRGC. That used to be what Hossein Taleb was in charge of at some point.
Yeah. This guy. Oh. Okay, we'll go back down. Where'd he go? There he is. Navy. This guy is responsible for hitting all the ships. He gives the order. If anyone might hear that.
We need a new boom boom sheet now, not because anybody died, but because people have been moved around.
Man, it would really suck if this guy down here were to, something happened to him. Be terrible.
So can I show some pictures?
Yeah.
Of the new appointments? Okay, so here, let me show. Okay, so that's Ali Osmai right there. And he's the new commander of the IRGC Navy, not the Artish Navy, but the IRGC Navy. So this is now the guy in charge of the Strait of Hormuz and attacking the commercial ships and everything. everything and basically defending against American attacks. Oh my God. And then we have here, I mean, you guys all know this guy. Hossein Taeb is now the head of the Basij. And then we have Ahmad Vahidi being confirmed as the head of the IRGC. Up until now, he was not officially head of IRGC, but now Mujtaba finally confirmed him as the head
why
of,
is that important?
Because given that he wasn't officially the head of IRGC, there was not people didn't know if he had the vote of confidence of Mujtaba or the Supreme Leadership Office, right? Because it wasn't official. He was basically his position was this position before up until yesterday or 2 days ago, but his position was the successor of the head of IRGC. And now he's not the successor of head of IRGC, but he's the head of IRGC. And this guy now, Mustafa Izzadi, is the successor of the head of IRGC. So if he dies, this guy is going to be the head of IRGC. And also we all have here Ali Abdullahi, used to be the head of the Khatam al-Anbiya. Now he's the head of the all the armed forces. And this other guy, Qamar Sahederi, is his successor in case he dies. By the way, you know what this does? This gives a good to-do list for Israel now. Okay? So we have it's good that we have pictures and names. So Israel, you have your to-do list. Mujtaba is giving you a fresh new target list. They're all here.
Maybe Israel knew about these guys before the Islamic Republic announced the appointment.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yes, for sure they knew. Yeah. Go nuts, Bibi June. Yes, go. Yes.
Oh, you hit confetti already? Nail Bunny sent us a super chat.
Oh yeah,
Oh man,
I had confetti ages ago. I'm just kidding.
Dang.
Thank you, guys.
Well,
thank you.
Thank you, Nail Bunny.
Thank you.
We'll get there. I'm at 4. What are you at? I think it's like.
I don't know.
Anyway, I'll get you back tomorrow.
Okay. Centur, anyone? Yeah, exactly, Sarah. More Centur, guys. You guys want more Centur? Yeah. 7-5.
So 4 days until the Iran deal deadline. Looks like negotiations have completely fallen through. They're not even being conducted anymore. And we can start thinking about what might potentially happen this weekend. The only thing, in my opinion, that is stopping us, the Arab governments. I think that's pretty much it. Is there anything else stopping the United States, in your opinion? I mean, it's not like they can sit back forever.
I think it's the midterms, the munitions, and President Trump confirmed that munitions are low. He said they're fine, but he also said they're low, and he said it's Biden's fault. So it's fine, it's low, it's Biden's fault. To me, this is a confirmation by President Trump that the munitions were low. So it's munitions, midterms, and oil markets. Munitions, midterms, markets. So the munitions is going to take a while to fix that, honestly. So I don't know how we're going to get there fast enough. The midterms, the good thing about the midterms is that after the midterms, even if the Republicans lose a lot, there's 2 months where we still have the current Congress in power, but President Trump doesn't have to worry about elections anymore. So right after, so we have 2 months gap. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, in the chat. We have a 2-month period where President Trump still will be able to hold on to the Republican Party in the Congress without ever having to worry about elections again. So that would be a 2-month window if President Trump wants to go all out. So that's the midterms. When it comes to the markets, Ali, you showed us that United States is buying a lot of oil at low prices from Saudi Arabia. So that might get the United States into a comfortable area where they could have enough oil reserves to be able to go back to military operations. So I guess the biggest barrier would be munitions, because the other two barriers are fixable. The munitions barrier is not fixable soon. It's going to take a while. But 2 out of 3 is fixable fast. So when it comes to whether or not it will happen, it might be there's 2 scenarios. Either United States is going to go for a major strike that the lack of defense munitions is not going to matter because they're going to go for their kill, or United States might decide that we're comfortable where we are because economically we're doing fine, and with a blockade and Operation Economic Fury, we're causing so much damage to the Islamic Republic, and they're not going to be able to tolerate this. Even if they think they can, eventually this is going to cause an uprising. So these are, 2 scenarios that you could think of right now that is happening right now. Don't know which one it is going to happen, but these are the 2 options that we have against the Islamic Republic. And if they want to call it quits, they can't, because eventually the Islamic Republic is going to be such a big problem that it's going to drag them back in. So this conflict will continue until the Islamic Republic falls.
Exactly. So it's going to take some time, potentially, but it's always going to end with the Islamic Republic falling. Here's oil prices. We're back up at 89. 6 days ago, we were at 79. So this week has seen a $10 jump in oil prices. Yeah. Pretty much closing at almost 90. That's back in the territory. Remember, guys, I hate this. I hate this every time. I tell you, every time we approach $100 per barrel, we're in that $90 to $100 range. Something happens. Some sort of backing off, negotiation, something like that ends up happening. We've seen that pattern, time and time again. So, every time we entered to the war range, this was during the war. We got back here a few weeks ago, talking. Now we're not talking, going back up. So, show you something real cool real quick. Cool or sad. This is the President of the United States of America this weekend. You guys might notice something a bit unusual, I might say. This is Trump golfing in New Jersey. You guys might notice something on the right side of the screen there. Yeah, that's a defense system that goes after drones and missiles. The President of the United States has to have this next to him at all times whenever he goes on vacation. Mr. President, I know you're worried, or maybe not worried. Maybe I used the wrong word. Maybe you're aware of the threat that the IRGC poses to you in your life and your family's life. I don't want to see the President of the United States of America have to be taking a vacation and constantly reminded next to him that he is at threat. So this was this weekend. All right, let's go into Iran, where there is a viral clip circulating in Iranian media at the moment. And it's this. This is it's a pickup truck, and on the back of it is a horse. Let's play this for you guys. This has been going viral because it symbolizes the Iranian people. Tied up with no space, can't move, and you're moving forward. And the horse in this video believes that it's moving. It believes that it's running, but it's not. It's caged, it's bound, and it can do nothing but think that it's still progressing forward. So that's the will and the spirit of the Iranian people summed up in one video there.
That's sad.
And now it's time to go into a particularly interesting interview by Roxana Saberi. Roxana is a correspondent for CBS News and was held prisoner in Iran's Evin prison for 100 days in 2009, falsely accused of espionage. Since then, she has interviewed and gone after exposing the Islamic Republic, particularly their security forces like the Basij, and we have written statements by some of them. Let me zoom in a bit more. Okay, so in April 21st, she interviewed a Basij member that said, this is what the Basij member said. He said, since February 28th, when the war started, I had to change my phone number 6 times. Every week, I had a new commander. He would come, then he would go. He would vanish. They go elsewhere and new people come in. And all the commanders have to keep changing their houses. Many of my fellow officers were killed in the bombardments. I knew a soldier who had his legs blown off in his barracks when they were bombed. And he said, quote unquote, word for word, we are all broken. To be honest, we're all angry. And what's more, we're afraid to stay in our posts. We're more spread out now in public places such as hospitals or malls. And that's because they don't want to be targets. They want to use civilians to be more safe. And hardly anyone remains on military bases anymore. No more than 1 or 2 people. That was mid-April, right after the ceasefire occurred. That was the state that we reduced the Basij to. We are broken, angry, afraid. That's what we reduced them to. This guy sounded like he wanted to defect as soon as possible. That was mid-April. That was when we were doing things right. Then there was another interview with an officer of the Kurdish minority in Western Iran. This was early January. And it seems like a lot of the officers in there, they kind of play both sides. They act like double agents, like they collect information from the Kurdish separatists, pass it along to the IRGC, make some money and stuff like that. That's the general state over there. And then I wanted to show you guys, there was something, I think it was a bit more towards the end here when I read this. Okay, here it is. So this is another Basij officer, and he got direct orders to tomorrow. He said, we have been told to be fully on standby for tomorrow. That was January 7th, 1 day before the massacre fully began. He said, I have received his answers, referring to the supreme leader. We've been told to be fully on standby for tomorrow. Again, January 7th. Then he said, there's a lot of disagreement now among security forces. And the disagreement was about, if we crack down on the people hard enough, is that going to restore order, or is that going to make the public even more furious? And he said, word for word, there is 100% confusion within the within the Basij. Apparently, this guy was an officer, and he said, even when we make key decisions in closed-door meetings, it's withheld from me. And I'm an officer. I don't know what's happening. The management, they're all doing things in secret, and we are afraid of what's to come. Then he goes on to talk about how they're under extreme stress, this and that. There's chaos, there's confusion. They have to be given permission to use live ammunition, etc., etc. I have no sympathy for this person whatsoever, ladies and gentlemen, not a single drop. But he does say something interesting. He says, in my life, I didn't even kill a single sheep. I'm in the police force for the income, not to kill people. I do believe that. That does make a lot of sense. Where did that go? I just zoomed in a little bit. There it is. I'm in the police force for the income, not to kill people. Armin, how much sense does that make to you? That makes a lot of sense to me. Money for these Basij.
So when it comes to the suppression power of the Islamic Republic, there's two things: money and ideology. So there's always been a debate whether the people who killed the Iranians in the streets and the suppressing power of the Islamic Republic, does that come because of the regime forces working for money and they don't care about the ideology, or is it that they believe in it and they're mostly doing it because they believe in it, right? And the answer is both, and it differs from one person to another, and the answer is not binary. I would say most people lean towards money, but the ideology is important and necessary. Without the ideology, many of these people would stop killing. Without the money, many of these people would stop killing. But the money is more important than the ideology. And without the ideology, more of them will continue killing if the money was there. But that doesn't mean the ideology is insignificant. It's still significant. So that's why when it comes to reducing the suppressing power of the Islamic Republic, you have to hit them both financially and ideologically.
Correct. Absolutely correct. I'll give you guys a glimpse of what this particular Basij member did on January 7th and what he did on January 8th, the day of the massacre. He said on January 7th, the day before the mass killing, we heard people speaking Arabic on the floors above our offices in the bases. That same night, on January 7th, several vehicles full of soldiers, about half of them from Iraq, transported us to the local Kurdish provinces. Now, January 8th. With my own eyes, I saw them opening fire on many apartments, and I swear that whenever I fired, I deliberately shot in the wrong direction because I was afraid that they would kill me from behind if I didn't shoot at all. I saw machine guns. I saw grenades being thrown towards people. I was crying inside, but I was afraid to do anything. Many of the Iranian forces were afraid like me. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
I don't believe him, by the way, when he says I shot at the wrong direction, this and that. But what I do believe is that they brought in the militia forces, the terrorist militia, and what must have happened was this, and it's very, very identical to what Russia does. They do this exact method. What happened was the Iraqi militias that they brought in would be behind, physically behind the Iranian Basij force, the IRGC. And if the IRGC, who had more skin in the game, they're shooting against other Iranians, refused to fire, the Iraqis would kill them. Same thing they do in Russia.
Yeah. So, by the way, Princess of Pahlavi has communicated that we always need to leave a door open for the people who who might be doubting what they're doing and might actually defect to our side. So, based on his command, we need to always consider that some of these people might want to change position and they don't actually want to kill people. We do need
Correct.
to consider some of them from that side might want to come to our side. That's Princess of Pahlavi's orders. As long as they don't have blood on their hands.
Correct. So I do believe him when he says I was scared, when I was terrified, when I wanted to quit. I believe him. And that he was working for money, that he wanted the money. You know, later on in the interview, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but he actually talked about today. He talked about today, he talked about in the last couple of months, I think it was June or July, and he's saying, I still want to quit. I still want to quit because I haven't been paid in 2 months. My wife has to stand in line to buy bread with coupons. I don't know what's happened to my family. We were always doing so well. And of course you were doing so well. You were part of the Basij. But now that life's gotten hard for this guy, he wants out. So it's hard for me to, it's hard, very, very difficult for me to be sympathetic to someone like this. Very, very difficult. And please don't buy in the, you know, the whole like, oh my God, my life is all hard now. Yeah.
We're not being sympathetic because somebody like that is not turning for the sake of the Iranian people. They're turning because now their life is hard as well, right?
For money.
So we don't, yes, we're not being sympathetic, but we do need to take advantage of them.
Yes.
If they're turning. Yeah.
And so that begs the question, if it was so effective back then in April, when we were hitting the Basij checkpoints, when they weren't getting paid back then and they were terrified and afraid, why can't we do that again? So it was insinuated, and he actually, well, he directly said it, that the Iraqi militia would stand behind them, and if they didn't shoot, they would get shot. I don't have a doubt about that. I know that the IRGC models a lot of their systems right after Putin. Putin has been employing this method for about 4 to 5 years now in the Ukrainian war. They bring conscripts, shove them up on the front line. If they take a single step backwards, commanders shoot them in the back. Nothing crazy. It's been there for a long time. This time, that's why I'm saying the Iraqi PMF, they're taken care of. We have a much greater chance at being successful. This is just one more of those reasons. Hamas, Hezbollah, they're not going to come back this time. They can't. PMF can. PMF is a problem. So Ali al-Zaidi, very much hopeful this man can pull off the disarming of these IRGC-backed militias in Iraq. He's met with Hegseth. He's gone to the Pentagon. He meets with Brad Cooper. He's doing all the right steps when it comes down, and he's arrested so many of these terrorists already in Iraq. Everything points towards the preparation of the anti-PMF operation to come. And we just saw Qani, the IRGC commander, go to Iraq and check out the situation there, give some orders. Here's my biggest fear. If I was Qani, Armin, and I just saw the situation in Baghdad last night, I would tell the PMF and other Iraqi militias, simply withdraw into Iran. Just come here. We're already worried about an uprising amongst the people. You guys are getting hammered in Iraq. You're about to go to war with the Iraqi government. Just come into Iran. They can't do anything to you here. And you can suppress the Iranian people. That's what I'm afraid of.
The problem with that, you would bring all Hashishabi to Iran?
Probably not all of them, but yeah.
You know what the problem with that is?
What's the problem?
You will lose Iraq.
Yeah.
So you can't afford to lose Iraq. Iraq is one of your most important assets. With that, the only reason why al-Zaidi doesn't have control over Iraq is that you have armed forces. The Islamic Republic has more armed forces in Iraq than al-Zaidi's armed forces. You can't afford to lose Iraq. So you need to have many of them still in Iraq. Yeah.
They'd also have to pay them a lot of money. But is it between losing Iraq or losing the Islamic Republic? We'll have to see and wait and see. You know, do they withdraw some of the PMF into Iran? Most of them,
So-
what's going on?
So this is why you need more of them in Iraq than in Iran. In Iran, you need them to shoot into unarmed crowds of people. So for that, you need like a few thousand. You don't need a huge force. In Iraq, they have to deal with the armed forces of the Iraqi government and the Americans, right? So you need more forces there. If there's an uprising, you only need a few thousand Hashd al-Shabi or PMF in Iran to kill unarmed civilians. You don't need that as many.
I hope that's the reasoning that Ghani went with. Because knowing him, that would be his reasoning.
They will bring a lot more in if they're losing Iran. Like if it gets closer to the fall of the Islamic Republic, they will pull as many as possible. And I bet you they have created a framework where they could quickly bring in a lot of people from Iraq into Iran if it gets to that point.
Yeah.
I bet you the last few days of the Islamic Republic, you're going to see a major flood of armed forces from Iraq coming into Iran. And this is why we need the Americans. You know, as much as some people might think like, okay, we could do this alone, we need the Israelis and Americans for that day to bomb all of these people coming from Iraq into Iran. Because even if we get armed, if we get that flood of Hashd al-Shabi, of armed forces from Hashd al-Shabi from Iraq to Iran, it will be so difficult. We need like a massive aerial bombardment of the forces, Iraqi forces coming to Iran at that when that's happening. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, as a commander, is he going to decide between holding on and fighting, or is he going to say, I'm going to cut my losses here and incur the penalty for that? Or is he going to try and do in between? So that's the summary of that. And you brought up a great point. Losing Iraq is just terrible for them. So we hope you liked the interview with the Basij member, disgusting as the guy is.
Very good find. That was a very good find. That was very revealing. You know, Ali, this is what we got frustrated for. Like during the 40-day war, we saw Hashd al-Shabi coming into Iran from Iraq, and they were just lining up, and we were wondering why nobody's bombarding these. Like they're just sitting there in a row.
And I'm never going to forget that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was so sick that day. I was so nauseous all day long. I was just like, why? Why are they not getting hit? Why is no A-10 strafing and just destroying all of this convoy? We just saw like hundreds and hundreds of Toyotas just lined up one after another going into Iran, carrying weapons, and just I was like, what is going on here? And that's when I started doubting whether the US's intention was to overthrow the regime, because if it was, they would have just hit those right then and there. We all know US and Israel can end this at any moment. They have the power to do so. So
I have a funny video I want to show whenever you have
show it.
time. Oh no, okay.
Yeah, we got through everything.
So yeah, we're gonna do super chats after this, but this I have to share. Okay, so within Iran, the Pezeshkian, something that he does that is very, very annoying, very annoying. Okay, he has a solution for power outages, and his solution is people should use less electricity. And he says, guys, we all could just use less electricity. He goes everywhere and he turns off lights. Okay. He turns off the AC. And he says, guys, if everybody in the country just turns off their AC, turns off the lights, if we all use a little bit less, we could save the country. And he makes it seem like the problems in Iran are because people are just not sacrificing enough. The Iranian people are not sacrificing enough. and we could just fix everything if everybody. And he just does so much virtue signaling every time he goes to a meeting. You're like, oh, why are these lights on? He turns them off. Why is the AC on? And he just turns it off. And like that's a solution. And Iranian people really hate that. Really hate that he's doing that, because he's kind of like blaming the Iranian people for like their power outages, right? So he had I don't know if I should explain it. Maybe because it's in Persian, let me explain it to you guys before I play it. So when I play it, you guys understand what's happening, right? He recently, in his recent interview, he came out and said that, when he was a kid, they didn't even have a fan. He grew up without a fan. Right? That's how he grew up, and he had no problem. And the reporter asks him, but weren't you in Azerbaijan when you were a kid? Like, Azerbaijan is not hot. Azerbaijan is cold, like Azerbaijan. And then he says, well, I served in this area. What do you have to say to that? Like this, when I served in the military. And then he said, like, but you were talking about when you were a kid, not when you were serving in the military. And then, so okay, so he got caught lying, and then somebody made an AI video of it. So I'm just gonna play it without translating, and then I'll translate it, right?
ما بچه که بودیم تا خیلی وقتا پنج کم نداشتیم. آخه آذربایجان خنکه آقای. جسارت من تو زابل خدمت میکرد. شما میگین بچه که بودن. من میگم تو زابل خدمت میکردم و پنکم نداشتم. حالا دیگه چی میگی؟
So it starts with a sad song. It's like, when I was a kid, we didn't even have fans.
که بودیم تا خیلی وقتا پنکم نداشتیم.
So he's like showing him as a kid without a fan. And the reporter said, but you were in Azerbaijan. That's a cold area. So like, okay, Azerbaijan. I'm like, okay, well then when I was serving, that's what I'm talking about. When I was serving, I was in Zabul when I was serving. And then the reporter said, but you just said when you were a kid. That's what you just said. And now he's serving as a kid. Anyway. And now he says, well, okay, when I was serving, that's when I didn't have fan. Okay. And there are people like, okay, he just got caught lying. Anyways, so
Armin, I have one for you.
What? Okay.
I have one for you that you're gonna like.
Sure.
Okay. Guys.
Oh,
guys,
wow.
Mujtaba Khamenei has finally woken up. And this is the moment when he wakes up and realizes what happens, and Ahmad Vahidi is telling him what's going on. Mujtaba Khamenei finally awoken. Here we go.
It's blue. Wait, make it.
Oh, is it blue? Oh, okay. Let me put this back. Okay.
آقا مجتبی به هوش اومدی؟
احمد؟ چه اتفاقی افتاد؟
خب راستش توی حمله آمریکا پدرتون، خواهرتون، مادرتون، زنتون، بچه‌هاتون، خواهرزادتون، شوهر خواهرتون کشته شدن. شما هم یک چشمتون، دست راستتون و پای چپتون و یه چیز دیگر رو از دست دادین تا الان هم توی کما بودین. الان ماهاست رهبر ایرانین و بیانیه هاتون رو چت جی پی تی می نویسه. تقریبا همه سرانمون کشته شدن، محور داره از بین میره. اقتصاد و قدرت نظامیمون در حال فروپاشیه و آمریکا احتمالاً به زودی میاد جنوبو میگیره.
پس پیروز شدیم؟
آره دیگه.
I know, this is what AI is used for. We'll translate this for you guys.
Okay.
آقا مجتبی به هوش اومدی؟
Mujtaba, you're awake?
احمد؟
Ahmad?
چه اتفاقی افتاد؟
What happened?
خب راستش توی حمله آمریکا
Well, to tell the truth, in America's attacks, your father, mother, wife, children, grandchildren, and everyone you know is dead.
شما هم یک چشمتون، دست راستتون
You also lost an eye, an arm, and a leg, and something else a part of you.
الان ماهاست رهبر ایرانین و بیانیه هاتون رو چت جی پی تی می نویسه. تقریبا همه سرانمون کشته شدن، محور داره از بین میره. اقتصاد و قدرت نظامیمون در حال فروپاشیه و آمریکا احتمالاً به زودی میاد جنوبو میگیره.
So you've been the supreme leader for a couple months now. ChatGPT writes your statements. Our economy is destroyed. All of our commanders and generals and officials are killed. And I think America's about to invade the South and take it.
Okay. And
پس پیروز شدیم؟
So we
آره
won?
دیگه.
Yeah. Well, I don't
oh
know
my
who-
God, that's 2C.
Who's that?
That's 2C.
Oh, okay, that's
the,
funny.
The guy. Oh my God, that's
Funny.
not the other 2C. What's his name? What's his first name? Quran. That's a Quran teacher that was Said 2C. That's Said 2C. Okay, so should I tell people who that get? This is the guy that was doing something to children in his Quran classes. He got the death penalty, but Ali Khamenei completely pardoned him because he's responsible for bringing children, young boys, to the Khamenei family. And he has state secrets, and that's why they forgave him.
Yeah. So it's funny that he's in there with Mujtaba, who's gay.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought that one was pretty good. I haven't seen a high quality one like that for a while. So
somebody's saying, "What the hell?" Yes, I just if you didn't know that was a lot to take in. Yes.
Yep.
So the reason why they put him down there is because Mujtaba Khamenei also likes little boys, and probably that's the guy that procures them for him.
Disgusting. So Nollybug says, "Hi guys, sending love. Hope you are feeling better, Armin. Armin, are you feeling better than yesterday?"
Yes, thank you. And guys, you guys are amazing that you keep asking me how I'm doing. Honestly, thank you guys. You guys are so caring. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Nollybug. And Nail Bunny also said, "Hope you're feeling better, Armin."
I'm feeling so much love from you guys. Thank you. Yes, I am feeling better. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
And Joanne, thank you so much for the 5 memberships for my channel. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you, Joanne. I appreciate you.
Very kind, Joanne. Thank you so much. Hope you're having a great day. And Deb says, "So happy to see you've been feeling better, Armin. We had big storms in Ohio. My power is out, but I have generators so I can still watch." Dang.
Oh, wow.
Some dedication.
Well, thank you for being with us in the middle of a storm. I appreciate you being here with us. Hopefully
Stay safe.
things will stay safe. Hopefully nothing significantly bad happens. And thank you for your care. Thank you so much for all the care. I appreciate you guys.
Yep. Thank you, Deb. Just to give you guys a quick update, looks like the IRGC have fired onto Erbil. So another Kurdish separatist headquarters is being hit. Looks like it's fully on fire, as well as the Yemeni Houthis are attacking once again towards the port of Al-Makha. So that would be more Saudi-backed forces coming under fire again. And our next super chat is from Saber Coaching saying, "How are you feeling, Armin? Got some rest?"
Yes. I managed to get a lot of sleep, so which is I think the reason why I'm feeling better. So thank you.
Nice. Thank you, Saber Coaching. And Nail Bunny says, "I'm sure Greta Thunberg will put aside her love for the Islamic Republic and oppose the oil dumping any day now."
Any day. Yes, I'm almost 100% certain that that's going to happen.
Yes.
Pretty sure.
Greta Thunberg.
Yes. I mean,
Thank you,
guys,
Neil
we
Bunny.
have our differences, but we're pretty sure like she's like, this is something that she's going to get in on. And at least we could agree with her on that, right? Right? Obviously, she's an environmentalist. How could it not be true?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Neil Bunny. I'm sure she will.
Yes.
And our next one is from Wes Downer saying, what is the name of the instrument you were playing yesterday? It's a Santur. Santur. Yep. About 2,500, 3,000 years old. It's generally the time period it was made. It was a while ago.
That's pretty
And-
amazing, by the way.
Thank you, Wes. Appreciate that
Thank
very much. Hope you liked it. And Nail Bunny says, message to chatters. If you make statements not making the distinction between Iran or the Islamic Republic, we identify you as ignorant or a troll. Well,
Thank you, Neil Bunny.
nobody's teaching
Yes.
them.
Hmm?
I guess Nail Bunny's teaching them
Yes,
first.
Neil Bunny.
So,
Neil
when-
Bunny coming
say-
down hard.
Yeah. If this was like a pure American show, we would just say Iran when we're talking about the Islamic Republic. But because we are Iranian, we're saying Islamic Republic. We're differentiating between us and them.
We should always.
And Nail Bunny also said, Mojtaba has run down the curtain and joined the choir, invisible choir. Invisible Mojtaba is not resting, stunned, or pining for the fjords. He's expired. I think that's a reference to something. I'm not sure. Run down the curtain and join the choir.
Wait. She's gonna be upset that we not. She's doing a cultural reference, and she's gonna put a comment something like, "Nobody got it." She's gonna be upset that nobody got it. So let me decode this, and figure out what she's saying. Okay, before she gets upset. This is a cultural reference that we're not getting, and I will figure it out. Okay.
Okay.
It's a Yeah, I knew it. It's a Monty Python's famous Dead Parrot sketch, which uses first phrases like "join the choir, invisible," and pinning for the. I don't know how to pronounce that. How did you pronounce that?
Fjords.
Yes. So it's a Monty Python sketch. Yes, got
Okay.
it. See, got it, Neil Bunny. The Dead Parrot sketch.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. She told
Oh.
us already. I didn't even have to check.
Oh,
it.
yeah, I want to say something.
Yeah.
Armin, I was watching Nejat Bahrami a couple days ago,
Oh, I
and
love
he
that.
made an excellent point. So he made an excellent point. This is an Iranian analyst, speaks in Farsi, and he was saying this point, which I thought I should share with you guys. Whether or not Mujtaba is alive or dead, it's about that. We should treat it as if he's alive. We should prepare and tell ourselves that he is alive, more likely than being dead. If he's dead, and he comes out to actually be alive, we might lose a little bit of hope, might lose a bit of our expectations about things. So, and that's the rough translation into English. So let's just prepare, because we don't lose anything by preparing for the fact that he's alive. And we just saw some indicators of these officials being appointed. So let's just move forward with that assumption.
That's a good point. I like that.
Thank you, Nail Bunny,
Thank you.
for the statement. And Bill Kennedy with our next super chat saying Google is censoring posts. Can't use certain words.
Oh yeah,
What did you
that's
try
why
to
for super chats. That's why people come up with clever ways. So to you could use those words, but just replace it with numbers or spaces, and that's how you could get your super chats in. Just have to
Yeah.
be clever about it. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Bill Kennedy. Just put like instead of an O, just put like a 0, or I don't know,
Yes.
instead of an E, put a 3.
Or cut it into multiple segments.
Yeah. Thank you for the super chat. Hope that works. And Steak and Beans is saying the one who smelt it dealt it.
Yes.
Oh,
So the one who's claiming to be Mossad, the ones who's accusing other ones of being Mossad could be accused of being Mossad. That's the reference to that.
yeah. So that's why they don't start calling each other Mossad agents at the top. Thank you, Steak and Beans. And Kaveh, I don't know if this is Kaveh from Iran or not, but with the 1,000 jewels and the Go trophy, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Kaveh, are you still here?
Yes.
And
oh
Steak
yes,
and
Go
Beans
Go
is-
trophy. I love that trophy. The Go trophy is the best trophy.
And
it
Steak
looks
and
really
Beans.
cool. Like, have you seen it in the chat?
Yeah.
Like you don't see
No.
it here, but if you look at
I
it in the
can't see
chat,
it.
it's just like, yeah. But that's why I have my phone in front of me to see these things. Right? Have your phone, the chat, and the phone in front of you. It just looks so cool. It's like a goat as a trophy, and it comes and it spins around. It's pretty cool. But yeah, but you should have the phone.
All right. And Steak and Beans with not just one Liberty Politics memberships, but 11, because he added another 10
Wow.
on top of that.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Awesome Steak and Beans.
Steak and Beans. Thank you, Steak and Beans. No, it's not Steak and Beans. It's Steak and Beans. That's how you say it.
Steaks
Try
and
it.
Beans. Oh. Steak and Beans.
There you go.
Thank you very much. And Condovo says Michael Doran, senior official under Bush Jr. and a Hudson Institute fellow and co-host of Israel Update podcast, said Brad Cooper just told Israel that Trump wants an end to fighting on all fronts: Gaza, Lebanon, and Iran. Yeah, that was I think that was about 4 days ago, and then Israel came out immediately and said, "F that, we don't care. You're just like, what do you mean? We're not going to stop fighting for our own national security just because Donald Trump says that." And then the media pushed that out, you know, oh, Israel and America rift, this and that. Okay.
What was the source for this? So let's see. Institute of Philo. Is this a credible source?
I'm wondering
Michael
where
Doran.
I saw the post circulating a few days ago.
Okay. So take it with a grain of salt, guys, but it might be true, but just take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I'll look for it later. But thank you, Condovo. I don't put much credence to that because I just don't see Israel stopping to fight for their national security. That's the only reason why. But, you know, Michael Doran is just saying that Cooper said that. So, yeah. But thank you very much for the super chat. And Sarah Ocean says, great analysis as always. Thanks God and
Thank
thanks
you.
Ali. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
What kind of thanks?
Uh,
Thank you, Sarah.
No, Cooper as in Brad Cooper, guys. Thank you so much, Sarah. Yeah, Deborah Friedman saying, yeah, Mike Doran doesn't exaggerate. No, I mean, I don't doubt that. It's more of like a, how can we know that that was actually what was said and nothing else? Because that the only reason he visited? And if it was, I mean, is Israel going to listen to that? And Sarah Ocean with another super chat saying, your Santur playing moved me to tears. Beautiful. Oh no.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I know some really sad songs that make me cry when I play them. So I guess I'll stick to these songs for now.
Guys, this is Ali trying to pretend that he's not a psychopath.
Yeah. Isn't that what humans do? They cry over sad things. Thank you, Sarah. Sorry I made you cry. And our next one is from Ginjasaurus saying shalom.
Shalom. Shalom. Oh, we missed you. You haven't been here. I haven't seen you. Are you still there?
Well, look, Gingersaurus, who's been a member for 16 months on your channel,
16 months.
says the IRGC only recruits supermodels? Yes. Only. All these 60, 70-year-old supermodel men. Absolutely. Thank you, Gingersaurus. And our next one is from Alistair Newman, saying about the Mossad infiltration in Iran, you guys should look up the story of how Mossad stole Iran's nuclear archive in 2018 when Yossi was also the director. Insane stuff. Ooh.
Oh, there's so many good examples of this. You guys should look into how when Mossad went and arrested somebody in Iran, interrogated them in Iran, and then released them in Iran, and recorded the video of the interrogation and made it public. As if it's their own backyard, as if they basically are the police force in Iran. Check
Or
that
also
out. That's
when
the
they
real
used,
story.
do you remember when they used that remote machine gun? It was a remote controlled machine gun that assassinated some nuclear scientists in Iran. Yeah, they got some tech.
Oh yeah, Fakhrizadeh. They killed Fakhrizadeh with a robot, with an AI powered robot, in a car, and they managed to shoot him, and his wife was right next to him without even injuring the wife. It was crazy. Like that whole operation was so crazy, so insane as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Alistair Newman. Appreciate the info. It's always so nice when people remind us of things like that. We're just like, oh yeah, and we like little smile on our faces. Yes. Thank you. And Fizz Endresses says Armin uses the Santur hack. Yeah, that's guys. Come on, see what he's doing here.
It works.
You guys, surely you guys see.
Yes, it works. People like it. By the way, guys, here's the punishment for Ali. Okay, so Ali's punishment is to go learn, not to play next time, but spend time with his dad learning the song Benam Shah. Okay, so that you could get ready for playing it. Okay, so that's your punishment. Okay, you have to spend time with your dad learning the song Benam Shah Han Santur.
Okay. And until then, can't use the Santur hack, so it has to be something else.
Okay.
Thank you, Fizendricist, for reminding us about the cheating ways of the Armin army. It's ridiculous.
Just giving
and
the
thank you,
people
Navy
what
Mom.
they want. Thank you.
And Condovo says Con News and Channel 12 cleared by IDF military censorship said one unnamed Arab state to another unnamed Arab state signed the peace deal with Israel to lull it while preparing for war. Scrap the deal once conditions are right. Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yes, this is actually a big deal. We got news that we don't know which Arab countries were this, but let me actually grab the information. We got
probably
information
Qatar to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, they're saying that they're preparing for war with Israel. Well, okay, so on August 10th, Israeli media reported a secret dialogue between two regional Middle Eastern states cleared by the IDF censor. Officials from one country advised another state to forge a diplomatic agreement with Israel as a tactical deception. The goal was to how do you say Israel to sleep? Lull?
Lull.
How do you say like lullaby?
Yeah.
Lull? Like lullaby, huh? Lull Israel to sleep and establish a false sense of peace and security. The period of calm was intended to be used covertly to build military capabilities for a future war against Israel. Once optimal military conditions were met, The advice was to scrap the agreement and launch a military offensive.
That sounds like Qatar to Saudi Arabia to me. And then it sounds like the IDF cleared this or put this information out there to promote more distrust between these countries. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know which countries were this. I don't think they included the countries in the report.
Yeah. They just want to promote some distrust, because if they said the names of the countries, then people would start pointing fingers but at just two people. But if they don't release it, then people start pointing fingers at everybody. Thank you, Condovo. I didn't know that. Appreciate that. Our next one is from CJ, saying the United States' allies, quote unquote, are a total joke. Where is the United Kingdom, which is largely responsible for how the Middle East turned out? Now the US has to play the world policeman. So I do think the allies are a total joke, but I don't think the United Kingdom should, like, the current government should be paying for the mistakes that their government made 100 years ago. And the United States plays policeman because it's the most beneficial role for the US. But I get it. The allies are a total joke. Oh, that reminds me. 5 days ago, an Italian frigate, an Italian Navy frigate, escorted a Saudi ship throughout the Suez Canal. It's quite interesting. Thank you, CJ. Appreciate that super chat.
Thank you.
Oh, look at the next one. Armin the People says Mujtaba is using Masoud Rajavi's method of what? Giving up your wife to your
No, of being in hiding, and not being. And it's not, you're right. Actually, it's not Masoud Rajavi. We don't know if he's dead or alive, and his followers are saying he's in hiding and alive, but he could be dead. That's exactly right. That's exactly, wow. Mujtaba and Masoud Rajavi, guys. Masoud Rajavi is Mariam Rajavi's husband and the supposed leader of the MEK. But we haven't seen him for years. So he's probably dead.
Definitely dead, yeah. That dude 100% dead. Here's what happened, guys. Mariam Rajavi was married to another man when then Masoud Rajavi comes in and he's like, I want your wife, to the other guy, the first husband. And the first husband was like, okay, yes, sir. I think you're so amazing that you should have my wife. And then they divorced, and then Masoud Rajavi married Mariam Rajavi, who then killed Masoud Rajavi and is now the leader of the MEK. Cool. Anyway, thank you, Armin the People. Great super chat.
Thank you.
Our next one is from A
great
Novel
username.
Odyssey with 1,000 jewels. Yeah. Trophy
Yes.
cake.
Wow.
Thank you, Odyssey.
1,000. Thank you.
And Nail Bunny says East German soldiers on the Berlin Wall are believed to look the other way when people escaped if they thought they could get away with it themselves.
Oh.
I'm sure some did. Yeah, I'm sure some did, as well as some shot people who tried to escape. Yeah. Always a spectrum.
Yeah.
And thank you, Nail Bunny.
Yes.
It's a great parallel in the passage.
No, wait. There's a second part to this. And then she says, some escapees can only be explained by some of the escapes can only be explained by this.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wouldn't be possible if they weren't looking away. You know, guys, Patipto also mentioned that there are people within the regime that are actively trying to help, like the people who sign, you know, in the prison system, the people in the courts. Like, he confirmed that there are many people within the regime that when nobody's looking, they remove something from your case, or sometimes they open the back door and say, like, get out, I deleted all your files, I got rid of your files, go out before anyone else comes. Like there are some people who say, remember, like some people within the system, within the Islamic Republic, sometimes help people and say, remember me when the Islamic Republic falls, like vouch for me. Right? So some of them are thinking the Islamic Republic will fall, and they're helping prisoners remove stuff from their case or get away. And they ask people, the prisoners who they're helping, to please remember my name. And once the Islamic Republic falls, just remember to say this, that I did this for you.
Thank you,
But
No Bunny, for the parallel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Always makes me think. Our next one is from Saber Coaching, saying dirtbags like him is why the regime survived until now. So Saber Coaching is talking about that Basij interview that we just went through. Yeah. Guys,
that
again,
guy
zero
was doing
sympathy.
it for the money. Yeah, that guy was specifically for it.
Yeah. No sympathy. You join in the Basij, whose only job is to suppress the Iranian people. You join for money as well. And now you're complaining when you don't get the money and you actually have to do the job that you got paid for all these years. Zero sympathy. Thank you, Saber Coaching.
Wait, can I say something? When I was in high school, I went to the school in Tehran that my classmate was a Basiji, right? And he always made fun of me, and he called me the American because like of my clothes, or I don't know, because of my English speaking skills or whatever, I don't know, because of the movies I watched. And he called me the American. And then I remember one time in school, during the break, he came up to me, and he was sometimes nice and sometimes mean. And he always bragged about the fact that he's allowed to hold a gun, have a gun, and he can shoot anyone with it without any consequences. He used to brag about that in high school, and he was a high school kid. And one time I was reading, I had a book with me, and during the break time, I was just like sitting in a corner and reading my book. And it comes to me, and he's like, "What is that book you're reading?" And I was like, "It's Animal Farm." And he was like, "Oh, animals. You people are just, you want to live like animals. That's why you're reading a book like that." I was like looking at him. I was like, "What?" And like, "Yeah, you people like you want to live like animals. What kind of a book is that you're reading?" I'm like, "Okay."
These people are so stupid. We're telling you from childhood, they're really stupid.
Oh
my
God, I just had nostalgia. I just had a flashback to that moment. I remember my okay, never mind. That was so funny. Oh my God, what a memory. I mean, okay.
All right. And Fizz Androsist with our next super sticker. Thank you very much. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you.
And a Novel Odyssey says confetti.
Confetti.
We did it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all. And thank you, Fizz and Novel Odyssey. Teresa saying, Sarah, you called Ali your pup. I was the 9th subscriber to his YouTube channel, and I thought, this poor kid. Ooh. I caught that, by the way. Just saying, I caught that one. And our next super chat is from Caroline. Says, what impact will Crimea falling to Ukraine have? The reason Russia wanted Crimea was the Black Sea access. They're going to lose that. They're having less oil to sell. In fact, yesterday, a report got released analyzing the Russian economy for their oil. Turns out they actually got a boost recently. They sold a bunch of oil all at once and boosted their economy by injecting a bunch of money into it from that oil sale. Now they don't have oil to sell. So they're in for some tough times right now moving forward because the boost is gone. They're not going to be able to sell oil from Crimea anymore. That's pretty much the major thing. All of that investment that they did into Crimea as well militarily just all gone. They've been evacuating Crimea for a month now as well, taking out their extra troops, extra forces, extra equipment, just leaving a bare bones defense force in Crimea. So Crimea is already cut off completely logistically. There's no supplies going in from the Russians to Crimea, so it's only a matter of time. But yeah, the Russian economy is going to suffer much more, much more. Sorry, I went on for too long about that. Thank you, Caroline. And Nail Bunny has gifted 5 Liberty Politics memberships.
Thank you. Woo! Thank you.
Thank you, Nail Bunny. As well as Curtis West also gifting 5 Liberty Politics memberships. Thank you, Curtis, and thank you, Nail Bunny.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Nail Bunny and Curtis, you guys are sweet. Always supporting.
And King Sky's official says,
yes,
capturing the like button now, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Guys, we should, what do you guys think? Does this sound good? We should wage jihad on the like button. Does that sound like, no? You don't like it?
No, yeah.
Ali does not approve.
No.
Okay.
Thank you, King Skies. And then Curtis West also said, Yahoo. That means it's pretty close to meaning Jew in Farsi.
Yahud means Jew. Yes, you're right, actually. I never noticed that.
Thank you, Curtis West. And Condovo says, credible source. Dorn held senior positions in the Defense Department and has contacts there. Love you guys. Okay. So Brad Cooper told them to stop fighting. Okay, so that's the reinforcing the Trump wants out, but the Islamic Republic isn't letting him get out.
I mean,
they're on a collision course.
I think, again, guys, I know people disagree with me. Right now, I think the position of the United States is like, well, I mean, maybe it's not. Okay, but it, based on the available information, and again, there could be so much happening behind the scenes that, we've already seen this right before Operation, the 40-day war and the 12-day war. So this might be like that as well. But given the current information, it does make sense for why the impression would be that the United States doesn't want to attack for now, and they're trying to just use economic pressure to make the Islamic Republic suffer, right? However, this could all just be, maybe even this message it could be that it could be all just fake. It could be all just a big plan. Again, I'm not saying it is, but it could be a big plan to make the Islamic Republic lower its guard and then come and hit them really hard, including this message. This message to President Trump could be real, but a purposeful, real message to make everybody, including the Islamic Republic, feel like they're safe. Again, I'm not saying it is the case, but it could be that. But it also could be that the United States just want to use economic pressure. Somebody's saying that sounds like copium, Armin. It's not if I say it's an option. If I said this, like, listen to what listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Here, look at this. If I said this is what's happening, that would be copium. If I'm saying it is an option, because look at this. You're not listening to what I'm saying. I was starting by saying that it looks like the United States is just not going to attack. And then I adjusted what I was going to say to say, like, we can't say that, we should also consider that option. But you didn't listen to me, did you? You didn't listen to me saying that this is an option that could be. You just heard me saying that this is what's happening. I'm not saying this is what's happening. I'm saying it could be 2 options. I said there are 2 options that we could consider. United States is not going to do military operations. They're not interested anymore. And they want to do economic pressure to make the Islamic Republic, to put pressure on the Islamic Republic, as they are doing right now. Or it could all be fake, and they, just like they did right before the 12-day war, just like they did right before the 40-day war. They created a scenario, a situation where it seemed like to the Islamic Republic that the United States is not really interested in attacking, and then right in the middle of it, they started attacking. This could be that again a third time. So how is it copium when I say this is one option? Like, you're not listening. I say, look at this. Now you're saying, okay, based on Trump's constant flip-flopping, I would say he has no intention of any further kinetic action. Yeah, you could be right. And that's what I said as my first option. But you cannot be 100% certain. That's what it looked like before the 40-day war, before the 12-day war, right? You should consider both options. Okay.
Thank you, Condovo, for the clarification there.
Thank you.
And Eric Henderson says there was a lot of leaks. So they have pulled security clearance and fired a lot of people from the Pentagon, even retired people. They even removed the #1 general that the United States had in Europe a few days ago. We covered that too. I think it was General Constanza. He's out. 2 months left for him to finish his service, by the way. They pulled him out. Thank you, Eric Henderson. On top of it.
1,000.
And then Lior with the 1,000 joules. Thank you
1,000
so
joules,
much.
Thank you.
The corgi sticker. And Amy says, OMGs, Armin, like
Yes.
that policeman that you let go, that let you go when you were in a car with a girl. Ooh.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, Amy remembers. Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I still remember his face. He was like, what are you saying to me? You stupid, stupid little boy. You're like, are you kidding me? All right.
That's funny.
True. Thank you, Amy. Exactly.
Thank you, Amy, for the super chat. Hope you're doing well. And Condovo says, in my opinion, it was Egypt to Syria. Or if it was a non-Arab country, it was Turkey to Syria. Oh.
Egypt
Syria.
to Syria. Turkey to Syria. Those are good options. Yes. You know what you're talking about. This guy knows what he's talking about. Those are the best candidates. I think Turkey to Syria makes a lot of sense. But they said Arab, so yeah. By the way, also remember, it's one person from one country to another person from another country. I don't know if it's like the entire state position, so we have to keep that in mind as well.
Yeah. Turkey to Syria makes a lot of sense.
Turkey to Syria would make a lot of sense. Did they say they were both Arab? Because if it was both Arabs, then it doesn't make sense.
I think they said it was 2 countries in the Middle East. Thank you, Condovo. And Curtis West, who gifted me 5 memberships. Oh, thank you very much, Curtis.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Let's go. Curtis felt bad.
go.
He gave you them, and then he was like, well, let's also give, Ali some as well.
Yes.
Thank you.
Some breadcrumbs for the poor.
So let's leave you guys off with this final piece of information that has come out while we were on air. All right. So the former deputy presidential special envoy, oh my God, Morgan Ortagus, said on Tuesday that the Islamic Republic fears its own people more than anything else. He warned that mounting economic pressure from U.S. sanctions and a blockade leaves Tehran with fewer options. And every day without a deal brings more economic pressure. Okay, yeah. So what I want to talk about here was more and more people are bringing up this issue on the American side, saying the Islamic Republic doesn't have any more outs. It's getting constricted. It's fearing its own people more. Even Senator Tom Cotton came out in an interview with Mark Levin and said, the first and foremost victim of the Islamic Republic is the Iranian people. We should be supporting them, etc. everyone's catching up with the fact that the Islamic Republic is gearing up to go after its own people. Everything it's doing right now is not to prepare for war with another country, it's to kill its own citizens as effectively as possible. That means the Islamic Republic, who has a ton of info, their entire intelligence department orbits around the Iranian people, and when they want to perform an uprising, believes one is coming very fast. Oh. And we have Kondovo clearing up, giving us another option. So saying, Armin and Ali, there's an option 3, which is Trump, ISR, Islamic Republic out, or Israel out. Israel out, Arabs in.
Oh, Trump wants to basically stop relying on Israel and rely more on Arab countries for deals and military operations. Work more with Arabs countries than Israel. Or
I don't think he wants to work more with the Arab countries than Israel. I think he just wants the Arabs to start pulling their own weight.
like maybe to balance it out so that they have more options rather than always having to rely on Israel. Balance it out with that. That's what some people are suggesting.
The Arabs are just dragging their feet. They're just dragging their feet. We'll see. Thank you, Kondovo. So again, until the Arab countries, the more the Arab countries start punching each other in the face, which is happening right now, the Muslims of the world are killing each other. It's what's happening. The more that happens, the more they're forced to go under the security umbrella of the United States and Israel in the end. Thank you, Kondovo.
Thank you.
And our next one is from Mommy123, who says, Fatimiyun and Zainabiyun killed us too. How to deal with that?
Yes.
Fatimiyun is already in Iran.
We'll go hunt them down once we liberate Iran.
Yeah.
Every single last one of them.
Afghanistan and Pakistan are both failed states. You can't really rely on them to do anything about these militias. And there's no way for us to stop them from entering the country at the invite of the Islamic Republic. Just afterwards, what Armin said. Yeah. But great question. And Amy, thank you for the 10 jewels. Nika said, hit the like button. Just kidding from here on out. If you just hit the like button, if you don't want to watch a video that's forbidden for you, then like it so it becomes permissible.
Haram. It's haram for you. It's making it haram. If you do not like and watch the video, it's haram. But the issue is that some people here like it more haram. Yes. But thank you, Nika. Yes, guys, please like the stream. And thank you to everybody who's already liked the stream. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. It really does help the channel.
Yeah. So, guys, please remember to subscribe to both of our channels, Ali Samani and Liberty Politics. And with that.
So, yeah, guys, we'll see you guys. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell notification. And thank you to everybody who's liked the stream. Thank you. You guys know you're not going to get any better analysis on Iran-related stuff anywhere else on the internet than here. So thank you for supporting us. And we'll see you guys same time tomorrow. And until then, I'm Israel Chai. Slava Ukraine.
Slava Ukraine.
Cuba Libre.
Cuba Libre.
Taiwan Jayo. Long live America.
Long live America.
Javid Shah.
Javid Shah.
Hayande
Iran.